الله أكبر.
Tanya, how are you?
I have a question.
Sure.
It's a cultural thing, you know. You know how I have listened too many times that Muslim men can marry several women, usually 4. Is it true? And also, why would that be?
Well, that's a very good question. So the answer is this. Assalamu alaikum, how are you? Good. Alhamdulillah, nice, good to see you. So the question is that can Muslim men marry up to 4 women?
Yeah.
Is it true? If it's true, then why, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it is called as polygamy.
Yes.
Marrying more than one spouse,
Yes.
right? So polygamy was common before Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Okay.
It was part of every society, by the way. The Christian society, the Jewish society, Mexican society, every society had multiple wives
In the past.
in the past without any limits. So a
Okay.
person can marry more than one without any limit. So what Islam did was 2 things. Islam limited the number of wives a person can marry up to 4. Then
Yeah.
Islam also gave responsibility to the man,
Okay.
saying that if you're going to have more than one, then you're supposed to be doing justice and properly responsible for all of them. If you cannot do that, then marry only one.
Okay.
All right. So that's in the Quran, by the way. So what that does is it prevents men exploiting women.
Okay.
Suppose if a person has to have more than one wife, then now he knows, what? I have to provide equally to both the wives and be financially responsible for her and the children, by the way,
Yes.
and do all the justice. And how many men can do that?
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's
So for-
a really good point, because my husband and I, being Hispanics, we were actually talking about that, because he told me, he said, but they have to be responsible to each one and give the same to each one.
Yes.
While in our culture, unfortunately, men, they only have one wife technically, but they usually have lovers. And
Yes.
the lovers are secondary.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't have the same right. They don't give the same respect or the same money or the same anything. And they usually do it behind the wife. The wife does not even know.
Yeah, see, if
So,
you have this society, even though it says only one wife and one husband,
Yeah.
but it does not restrict
They don't do it. It's not true.
that there are so many, outside
Yes.
mistresses and lovers and
Yes.
boyfriends.
And
The man may be
children
having,
not recognized, and
Yeah.
and the lover, it does not have the same respect in society. So
Yes.
it doesn't make sense. It's kind of hypocrite.
It's
Our
hypocrite.
culture, in a way, is
yes.
hypocrite.
So Islam gives a safety to the women,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Nobody can touch her, right? I cannot shake your hand, by the way. My wife can shake your hand. I cannot
Okay.
touch your hand out of respect, right?
Yeah.
Out of respect. So Islam protects women, even for the marriage. Husband is 100% responsible for the finances, for the home, for the clothing of the wife.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have to go outside and work. She taking of the children, giving them good moral standing. So Islam protects the families and the children and the women.
Yeah.
So in this society, if a man has one more women and one marriage but more women,
Yes.
eventually if the wife finds out he's fooling around, then the marriage may break up, right?
absolutely,
And
yeah.
then what happens to the children?
And it does.
Yeah, and what happens to the children, right? They would be bouncing in between husband and wife. They would not get proper education, no love of the father and the mother. So
Yeah.
Islam solves this problem. Islam says that if you love someone,
In a way, it regulates things that anyway would happen otherwise.
Yes,
But
yes.
it regulates them and protects, like you say, the family and the women
Yes.
and the children.
exactly,
Yeah.
right? So Islam came to protect the societies. What happens is there's so much immorality out there, right?
Yeah.
People not wearing good things and people lusting after each other, fooling around with each other. Islam stops all of that by saying, if you want to have, intimacy, it's only within marriage,
Yes.
right? So Islam gives morality to the people. So see, what happens is that family is like the main, it's a brick of
Yeah.
the whole civilization, right?
Yeah.
If the bricks are like loose and if they
Yeah.
crumble, the whole civilization falls away. So Islam wants to strengthen the families. So to strengthen the families, it wants to protect the marriage.
Yeah.
It wants to make sure that every person is married, it's within a family. That will stop prostitution, that will stop boyfriend, girlfriend things, right?
Yes,
It
absolutely.
stops so many immoralities. People don't know that. They think, we are free to do what we want,
Yeah.
but then the society is crumbling.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
that's the reason the solution for immorality is connecting with God, having good, wholesome families within marriage, proper responsibilities.
Yeah.
The child should have a husband, a mother and a father,
Yeah.
right? So all of this protects the society,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. It makes sense. Thank
Makes
you
sense?
so much.
Sure. So look into Islam, by the way, because everything which I showed to you, right? All the problems that we are facing,
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
It's interesting,
It
yeah?
was interesting, the connection that you are making from these spiritual rules or to real problems. Yeah.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
So that's see, Islam is not just for me and for the Muslims over here. God sent Islam as a guidance for you and your husband, your children, right?
Yes.
So when you look into it, there are many Hispanic people. They are looking into Islam and they're converting to Islam
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
they
that's
think,
right.
what? How can Jesus be God when he was, hungry?
Yeah.
He was breathing oxygen. He was going to washroom.
Yeah.
Why do we take a man to be God? God is God. Jesus used to worship God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So think about it, and pray to God for God's guidance.